Good evening, everyone. We'll call the council meeting for the evening of January 12th to order. Begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Sheila Poole if she will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Sheila. Start by pledging.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marcia, are you filling in for the call roll?
Mayor Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Benton.
Here.
Mr. Hagan. Here. Mr. Mickey Hummel.
Here.
Mr. Randy Hummel.
Here.
And Ms. Shire. Here.
Thank you. All right. On the, okay, I know we're going to make a change to the agenda, but I'll call for a motion to approve the agenda. Second? Okay, is there an amendment to the agenda?
I'd like to amend the agenda to remove item 11C, the revision for fee schedule, to the work session, so that we can join us. Any questions from that?
I think that's a good idea. Anybody?
If I could add the upcoming meetings and then is if the green chain and the environmental committee will meet the first Tuesday.
That's not with the, that's not having to do with the agenda.
It's on here.
Okay. All right. There's been a motion to amend the agenda to place the discussion and voting on the fee schedule to the February work session and make sure that Richard was unable to be here tonight. But he will be there for that. Is there, all those in favor of the motion to amend, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. You may know that the beach dredge has been removed from the agenda because we only received one bid. It was twice as much as what it was 6 years ago. So we're going to, and we met with the bidder, really didn't make much progress. It was Crandall. This is in June, too busy to bid on it. So we're going to change the scope of the project to include just the south side of the pier and rebid, hoping we'll get more interest in it. And so we'll deal with whatever comes in next month, because we need to get working on it, if we do it. Yeah. Councilman Yoke, you got through your copies of what we did over there. Okay. All right. So motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, approval of the minutes from the last month's council meeting.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and motion carried. Under our scheduled appointments, we have the winners of our holiday highlights. Sponsored by the Beach House and Garden Club. The president, Deborah Noyes, is with us today. I hope some of the recipients are here. But,
We'll see.
okay, would you be kind enough, Deborah, to announce the winners to us?
Sure. I have a few members too that.
Sure, please.
So they-
You introduce those in your supporting cast.
Right. So, as you probably know, we have one of our annual events that we hold, or the Holiday Highlights Contest. Come up, Judy. And this was particularly soft spot for Sally Dobinson, who was our president for 15 years. And so this year we did it in memory of Sally, so she passed, really right before the contest. Very, very, soon before the contest. So we did it in her memory, just some history for you, those of you that participated. And I know that our judging team was Madeline and Norma Jean and Sheila, right? That actually And Jay, that's right, Jay was the driver. And here is the judge team. So, and it's always a fun thing, and it's nice to see everyone participate. I know the short amount of time I've been living in North Beach for, I guess, 6 years. You know, I see more and more and more, and I'm sure the town council and mayor sees that as well, that more and more participation. So thank you for all of you who participated and decorated your residences and businesses. And we did come to you before Christmas to give you a prize, but we wanted to formally recognize you here in front of the town council and mayor. Are you gonna come down?
Sure. There's gonna be a picture, you know.
So I'll just call them out, and if you're here, please come up. The first place for the residences was Heather and William Carter. So glad you're here.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I think we have to revise the new. Okay. We'll do that. But stay up here. We're gonna get a picture. Let's get everybody. So I'll hold up. But we will. And the second place residents went to Ryan Terrell and Jessica Douglas. And the third place residents went to Desiree Short and Aaron Whitehurst Myers. Are they here? No? We'll get their certificate to them. And first place business was Calvert Kettle Corn.
They just texted me and said they're sorry they won't be able to make it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
Didn't even have to call out, that's okay. And the second place went to Perfect Nails and Spa. Talk to her, I thought she was gonna come. And I know the third place won't be here, that went to Old Town Candy, Joseph. Get a good shot. Can we move in? Thanks so much.
It was a hard choice. There were a lot of those that have done very well.
Okay, next on the agenda is the presentation from the Economic Development Committee. I'm going to ask Gwen, who is our liaison to that committee, to please introduce those who will be making the presentation.
I'd be happy to, just to say a few words to put this presentation into context. At our recent meeting, the mayor, Stacy, and Dawn attended. We invited them to come to the EDC and present the vision for the wedding venues that are going to be happening and have happened already at the end of the pier. And the idea was, many businesses, everybody is impacted, but it's also an economic opportunity for residents, for businesses, for the town. And so we wanted to hear the vision as it was formulated to date. Of course, this is a work in progress. And we also wanted to talk about potential unintended consequences. Whenever you start something new, there may be things that you just don't think about. So we wanted to have a dialogue from the start, and also talk about opportunities and brainstorm some creative opportunities that businesses may be able to engage in. So after that meeting, the EDC met, came up with some recommendations, wanted to present those to the council for consideration. And Mary Case is the chair. She's going to be presenting those. I just also want to acknowledge Lisa Payne is also here from the EDC, and Karen Ingerbrand, who is the former chair, is also here. So welcome.
Deborah.
And Deborah, sorry. You're involved in so many things. And Deborah. So with that, Mary, take it away.
Thank you, esteemed council people, Gwen, thank you, and thank you, public, for coming tonight. My name is Mary Case, I chair the Economic Development Board Committee, and like Gwen said, we're here just to present our recommendations. They are on slides, there's 13 slides. They just throw on a piece of paper. I'm going to read them through if I may. They take about 8 minutes, and then I'm here for questions and answers. Okay. So as we move along, the wedding calendar. Clarification of annual time frame that weddings are permissible on the pier. So we recommend that post the time frame on the website so that businesses and residents are aware of the wedding session. Wedding brochure website. Clarification of processes, procedures, requirements for vendors to be added to the website and brochure. Question. So we recommend post process information on the website and proactively send this information out via email to businesses, including VRBOs. Those are the rental properties people here in town have. Invite businesses to become and add vendor, and to be added as a vendor. If they have some something wedding related, to offer and provide instruction for how to become a vendor. So is there a form? What's the standard of information to be required to be vendorized with the town? Okay, so the recommendation, have placed on website to provide more information about vendors, special wedding offerings, example, couple massages for bride and groom, wine tasting events for guests, champagne discounts for wedding parties, wedding party hair and nail specials such as baskets of cheese and crackers, etc. Beach, pier, and street closing. Minimize closings and closing timeframes as much as possible to avoid negative impact on businesses, residents, and visitors in the event of closure is necessary. And so these are the following that are suggested. So if Fifth Street is closed, suggest posting on the entryway sign as the First Street and Fifth Street, those little, I don't know what they're called, kiosks, that they're closed and access to Bay Avenue via First or Third. So by the time drivers get to Fifth Street, they'll realize that it's closed and they can decide whether or not they can use the shops on Bay Street.
Mary, can you just go back? I think you missed a slide. Can you say an important one? Just go back one more. Go, there it is.
So if you're reading that, just notify the businesses in advance via email websites that the pier is going to be closed for the wedding venue. And perhaps develop a policy specifying how much in advance notification will be provided for consistency and planning purposes. Leverage opportunities. Consider creative economic development opportunities related to the wedding businesses. For example, wedding talks to familiarize potential wedding patrons that North Beach will be a business. Businesses have to offer wedding shows. Perhaps 1 or 2 times a year that host wedding shows where couples can come and see what the local businesses have to offer. And an event list. Can create a list to be distributed to the guests for places to go while they're in town for the wedding. And this is last but not least, last slide. So basically this is ongoing communication. As the wedding businesses grow, suggest quarterly or biannual brainstorming sessions between the Economic Development Committee, businesses, and Town Hall to explore additional creative opportunities to leverage the wedding businesses and support each other. So this is all we have for tonight. If there's any questions.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Sir.
and for the members of your committee. I think those are excellent recommendations. And I suspect this probably should be subject to the work session.
That'd be great.
Let's put it on next, we'll have, yeah.
Can I just add in here? Back to the slide that says that this street is closed, suggest posting on the information on First Street, also at Fifth Street.
That's what she meant to say, I think, slow at first
Should
and
say
second.
Sunrise,
Yeah, exactly.
at First and at Fifth.
Right.
Yeah, and they have to, I mean, well, it needs education too, because if they get to Fifth and see it's closed, they can still turn into the public parking lot.
Right.
There are plenty of parking places there ordinarily, and patronize all those businesses on day between Fifth and Seventh. Just so if they can't drive down Fifth, doesn't mean they have to, can't still patronize because there's parking right behind those businesses.
I think that education is, yeah, key. Yeah, it's just letting people know, you can still go to businesses, just, yeah.
And in reality, how many weddings really been closed, say,
Probably fewer.
way fewer?
But when they do, it's important just, because these are things, as a councilman, I didn't think about it, but when a business brings it up and says, yeah, somebody drives by and they miss it, they might just say, forget the businesses, it's too much of a hassle, but if we tell them early, go here, we can capture them. So it was a creative suggestion.
Yeah, and as a revenue generating service, there could be more, that's what we hope as a, can bring to the town, this awareness. I just happened to be down in St. Mary's County, they do a pretty good job at displaying what their town offers. They actually,
Is that a county publication there? Or is that-
I couldn't tell, it's just like it says Southern Maryland, looks like an advertisement.
That's probably Leonardtown.
Should be part of that, right?
They've really taken off from Leonardtown there.
Right. But it's specifically for St. Mary's County, so Power County. Nice. They did a good job. I have some more publications that they just showcase St. Mary's as a wedding destination.
And Dawn's doing a lot of that in terms of advertising and.
Well, we're here, the committee has a bunch of professionals that do this kind of work, and I'm more than happy to help you out.
Well, the number one intention is to benefit the
Absolutely.
small business in town, so we'll make that happen. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, Ron, are you giving the public safety report?
Yes, sir. Tom Snyder, Board of
No.
Access.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Good evening. Happy New Year, everybody. This is Colton Galvin. If you look at the statistics for December, we had 193 calls for service. That's up both from November and up from last year this time. 129 of those calls were self-initiated, contributed to patrol checks and things like that, for Christmas decorations and things. Go to the next page. I think
I asked.
are you the one
Yeah.
that asked for the format? Okay, I was thinking it was your dad. You have a new format with your statistics up here. That was going to 2017 and it closes out 2016. So on the left-hand column, you'll have a monthly statistic breakdown of your the calls for service that we responded to. And on the right-hand side, you'll have a month in total for month to month. So, and then you can see at the final column over there, you had 193 calls for service this month in 2011 year to date.
I was adding in just to be my thought, having like a running quote for
So,
the year nice and see.
So Tom put that together, you guys have it in 2017, and that'll keep you money total. Things are up and down. And, you keep this a reference here.
Yeah.
You see what's up.
Anything remarkable?
Nothing remarkable this month. It was a pretty quiet month. We had a couple of usual things here. You see there was 2 CDS violations, 1 heroin, one methamphetamine, and that's unusual. That's usually a West Coast road. We don't see that out here often at all. 1 destruction of property, a broken window pane on 7th Street is under investigation, and there's two assault arrests.
Wasn't very busy.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, yeah. Any questions of the lieutenant? Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes, sir.
All right, so Joe, can you have your report?
Okay, the treasurer's report for November 1st through November 30th. The beginning balance was $1,726,000. Total debits was $538, and total credits was $1,412,000. The ending balance was $853,481. Investments in MLGIP was $3,393,000. MLGIP sewer capital was $34,000, and MLGIP water capital was $7,000. Total cash available to the town of North Beach is $4,288,000.
Council, you see the printout of the receipts and disbursements over 7,500. Do you have any questions of Joanne?
Thank you for getting those out now.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You asked me for one other item, I believe. It was the business from the state.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't think we had any last month, but I'll remember it next month.
Do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Donnie?
We got a list of items we're working on, the business of routine tasks. First one there, we got seawall update. Myself, Mr. Hoffman, and staff did a visual inspection from Atlantic Avenue all the way down from 7th Street all the way down to the end at Wood Beach 10th Street there, and tried to look at conditions underneath the piers and barriers. While we were performing the inspection, we found several areas with like minor erosion, just where you can see gravel, where a little piece of wood against the road. Minor erosion there, but we did also find 2 or 3 different areas with pretty major boards. We met with a couple different contractors, looking at a couple different ways to try to attack this. The real problem down there is you're looking at something, and you have the whole wooden seal on front, you have the concrete on top, the jersey gears on top, you can't really visually see what you need to see because of, it's voids that's underneath, it's covered up. So now we really run the camera and really look at it. But, anyway, we got a couple different prices, anywhere from $13,000 to pump some foam, foam type material underneath. What it is, come along, you can drill holes, you pump this foam in. But the problem there is they didn't have enough room on the bay side, east side, to drill. They would be drilling on the west side. And we're not sure that foam would even get out to it. Without having, falling the rocks, that kind of wood, we don't allow it. Spend a lot of money and time, being able to make some tweaks to that. They could come up and do it, but you're more than sure, and that takes care of the problem. We also looked at moving the rocks back, which is really time consuming, because the further you down Atlantic Avenue, the more rocks you have. That 9th through 10th, the rocks are almost as high as the seawall. So we're going to try to pull some rocks back, cut a small section of wood out, try to look under it, that would be an incredible time consuming task also. And expensive task, you have to have a machine come up, that would run up over, and we're not sure exactly what the results are. So what we had staff meeting, we talked about it, the mayor and staff, and Mr. Hoffman. We're going to fix the major areas, there are 2 areas we know we can see, we can fix them pretty quickly. Not easy, but we can fix those, and then we'll just keep an eye on, keep monitoring like we have been doing with the section of Trail down to 7th Street. So that's what we're going to have, so get those 2 fixed.
Yeah, I instructed Donnie to, where we know we have problems, and they're not minor, to go ahead and deal with those. And we'll just, the rest of it, we'll just kind of observe.
So you went down, you inspected it, but I mean, there's no like technology, I mean, I'm like, I don't hate to use the word sonar, but I mean, something that can shoot through the concrete to see, or?
It's pretty simple, but it's not. That's what you have against a wooden seawall. Take this as your wooden seawall, or just yellow fabric that goes up against that wall. What's happening is the water's coming over, drawing down 59. And the concrete is just like the granite, that's right from the edge. So the wooden seawall here, and here, the jersey's on top. So it's no way without. The places we can see that are bad, you have a board that so we can see that right now. In the old existing seawall, you can go along there, enough places you can see some cracks, but when I'm talking minor, it's only like 2 inches of erosion, which with that concrete slab and Jersey walls all locked together, that's not gonna all settle down at one time. The major one, we could measure back 3 feet, and you had a void that was probably 15 inches deep, you know, and the angle goes back almost 30 inches. So that's a void that we need to fill, because it's getting close to the road, it would cause a possible sinkhole, stuff like that. You can see the Jersey barriers have settled about 2 or 3 inches from the existing one. That's about the only, I mean, that's a short way, you know, simple, yeah, that's about it. No, that's simple, but it's, yeah. And without, like I said, the boards are, you know, the seawall boards are 8 inches wide. So if you go along, you might take out a sample every 4 feet, but, you know, you might miss one, because it's clean up 4 feet, so it's kind of hard to judge that. Most of the area, like I say, from mid-block, from where 8th Street would come in, down to Fountain, is pretty good shape, still at the top of the wall. You know, rocks and follow, it's pretty clearly built. So we have 2 areas of the neighborhood, and we got a new fence right away.
And then we're gonna do the thumb, is that, or?
No, I think we're just gonna actually, drill or cut out the concrete slab, maybe a foot wide, and we're gonna put grout, 2-4 grout in there, and the grout will just run and fill up the void as far as we can let it run. And we're trying to get it run as far as we can, pump it in both directions. If it's a big enough void, you know, we're gonna make it a milkshake consistency, just kind of let it run in there and fill up the voids and then, you know, get it set up, and that'll stop any further erosion. Another bad thing with the pressure, either one, with the foam or the concrete, you try to put high pressure grout or pump it in there, it has a possibility of blowing out the seawall, so it might not, you know, more pressure pushing, it's gonna blow out any crack it in, so it might not even stay in there anyway. So, you know, spend a lot of money, and really not get a result as well as very about that, so we're put something in there. And we're still gonna research the other, and we're gonna keep looking for options, but I think that's the best option, that, you know, something wrong. If it's, for that, just to come up here, the company's out of Williamsburg, Virginia, and it's, $3,500 just for the rubber lines, and so, the repair one, there's another $10,000, how much material we use, this one, $5 and it's $3,500. So we're gonna go up there and pay it right now.
Let's just keep a close eye on it.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on it. Same thing whenever we continue to just install new stop signs throughout town, we're putting them all to the proper height. We've made it up to 5th Street, and with weather, as weather, the property is good, to bring ours in town. We responded to actually another one today, so it's 5 sewer blockages, calls in this report period, we jetted and cleared them all. We installed 2 new cleanouts at the property lines on Dayton Avenue, so we could further the inspection and use. And we also installed today 2 new cleanouts in 2nd Street. 2 properties there had clogged, and was supposed to main road found the grease leak into the right at the property line. We turned out in the old, not used to, went and installed cleanouts in both of those also today. And continuing to work on all phases of the streetscape with Mr. Hoffman, and town staff. Details are coming together pretty good now. Mr. Hoffman did update his report, I think, on, we have 2 phases that are ready to go update. That's in Donald, we updated his report on that. Fruit trees, we had a little bit of snow, as everybody knows. This weekend we did Fruit Treat Friday. We did Indian Friday, and we also had the crew out Saturday morning salting. Really didn't get enough of the problem, so 2-3 inches. So, it's found up, it's kind of in between, it's found when we did salt in the streets. And Councilwoman Shadow's reminded we did install a new fire hydrant that day out. One outstanding problem we got there, we not repaired, couldn't get the parts to fix it in place or when they ordered new, and we did that. We painted blue and everything.
Yeah. At least it's there and it works, right?
Right, it works. High fire will work.
Council have any questions of Donnie? All right, thank you, Donnie. John?
Good evening. My February report. I hate to sound like a broker, but on the environmental concerns contract for the living shoreline and the flood gate, that is still on hold. Still waiting a final clearance from NDE and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on the revisions. And it's not for the lack of Gene Swear, God bless him. Just to give you an example, he sent an email to the MDE head person yesterday and said, we're having a meeting tonight and the mayor wants to know where you are with this revised permit. Please get back to me. He didn't get a response yesterday. We hit him with another email this morning and we got no response today. So, Gene's doing as much as he can to push those folks along. They did indicate back in December that they had a short time frame to be able to get it finished, and it's not living up to what they told us in December. So,
John, let me interrupt just for a second. I got an email from Gene this afternoon.
okay.
I'll read it to everyone. Hello, Mark, regarding MDE. Andy May, who was the wetlands permit guy,
Yes.
and Melissa McKenna are out of the office today. I spoke with an individual in the secretary's office. She indicated that the permit was in the director's office for review and signature. She will call me when it is in the mail, typically about 5 days. As far as the Army Corps of Engineers is concerned, Kathy Anderson is out sick today. Our Corps permit is being drafted now. I'm not sure what the lead time is. I will likely get an update tomorrow if Kathy comes back into the office. I will keep you posted, Gene. I mean, I wish I had more to say, but that, as I say, it is what it is.
That goes in, yes.
John, can I ask you a question, just, and maybe it's my memory, but the first time we went through this whole permitting process, did we have a permit from both MDE and?
Yes.
So this is, it's not an added permit?
No, it's,
I just didn't
we're
remember.
talking about a revision to permits.
Okay.
We're not talking about a new permit, but they process it like a new permit, but what you do is you get an amended permit.
Well, I just didn't remember the Army Corps piece, I just remember the MDE piece, but,
No, we did,
We
yes,
did both.
we did.
okay.
Because MDE and the Corps kind of work together when they're reviewing these. And usually you get the MDE permit first, and there's a, right at the bottom it says, oops, don't start any work until you get the Army Corps of Engineers permit. And it will come shortly thereafter.
All right.
Because neither MDE or the Corps will issue a permit unless they are comfortable that the other agency is on board with the particular proposal. The mayor covered the Beach Dredge project. Hopefully we'll be here at your next council meeting in February with better news or the way to do a path forward on that. Pier Pavilion project. We did get the response get a response from MDE, and they have told us that they feel that the project's not approvable unless it's reduced in size from about 2,500 square feet to 1,000 square feet. So we're doing two things. One, we're evaluating whether the 1,000 square feet works or whether there's reapproach. Our consultant still thinks there may be some reapproach if we meet with MDE or the Board of Public Works on the 1,000 square feet to get that ratcheted up to a higher number.
Yeah, and herein lies part of the problem. If you come down too hard on these people,
Yeah.
you know, place calls above them, and they get chewed out, they remember that. And you have to deal with them again. And they remember that. So it's a very fine line that you have to walk.
Yeah, we haven't, we're still working and trying to work our way through a viable project there. Keep it posted. Streetscape project, The hardscape portion for Chesapeake Avenue is out to bids. The ads appear in the paper tomorrow, and the bids are due later this month, so we'll have good results on that for you at your February meetings. I've included with my report a procurement schedule of all the items that have to be procured for the streetscape program. The hardscape for Chesapeake Avenue is item number 1. That's the one that's out for bid. And we'll also, the Chesapeake, the last item I report is the flooding Chesapeake Avenue. And we talked before about if you did a project to raise the level of Chesapeake Avenue, we get it above the flooding level. We've designed that. We have developed a set of bid documents, and that project's being advertised concurrently with the streetscape, so that we get bids on both those projects. And we're hoping that since we're bidding them both simultaneously, the contractor will see that there's 2 projects together, we may get some economy of scale on bids there. So again, that will be available for our discussion in February. Going back to, I skipped over the state highway items for Route 261. The state highway is designed to raise the elevation of 261 from about 9th Street up to the Anne Arundel County line. They tell me that the state's in preliminary design. The last time we had any substantive information from the state was back last September. They have not had any coordination meetings. I talked to Pat tonight, who's the county transportation planner, and we're going to ask the state to convene a meeting, another coordination meeting, which Donnie and I go to this month, so that we have a better report of where that design is, where it's going. Under their proposed schedule, they were supposed to finish this preliminary phase in March, somewhere between March and May. And that design had to be approved at high levels of HA before they could actually start doing what I call bid documents, so they could actually advertise their project to bid. So what we need to do, and there's another reason here. We've talked many times about, as part of the old core project, to make the wetlands better in the area, adding a new culvert underneath the roadway south. Right now, there's an existing culvert at the north end, right where the Anne Arundel County line is. We've long thought, and we actually even considered when we did the living shoreline design, that there really needs to be a second culvert underneath 261. 2 reasons. One, to make sure that there's the water that gets into the wetland areas on the west side of the road can get back out to the bay, and similarly, that the water from the bay can flush into the wetlands. There's an area on the west side of 261, just north of where the town pump station is basically dead because it's not getting any tidal flushing. And the old Corps of Engineers 510 project that we talked about many times, and we haven't talked about in several months because the Corps has not shown any interest in moving it forward. Well, 2 things have happened. One is we have some grant opportunities this spring to get funding into the pot to be able to do the south culvert. And lo and behold, the Corps contacted us within the last 10 days and said, They were ready to take the 510 project, which included the south culvert, they were ready to cancel it because of inactivity, which is primarily inactivity on their part. We talked to a new project manager there, made him understand that we definitely want to still hold that opportunity open to get more funding to do the south culvert. We need to make the state aware of these funding opportunities, and we're also going to schedule a meeting with the Corps folks to make sure that the possibility of the 510 project doesn't go away on us.
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have to be very proactive at this point.
As we had to be all along on this.
Okay. Those two meetings with the Corps and with SHA need to happen. All right, council have any questions of John? John, this list of procurement schedule, all those will have to be bid. But we started with the first two.
Yes, we did.
One that's going to take the most time and really are to represent the foundation for everything else that needs to be done.
Some of these are small procurements, they're under $15,000.
Right.
We don't have to do public advertising. We can get vendor proposals, competitive proposals from different vendors to do those. So they're easy. They're easier to get a competitive price on the table for council to consider than big projects that are over the $15,000 where we have to do the formal bid process.
Thank you, John. All right, Rick? You're doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. Most of the last month was spent doing clerical stuff at the office, getting everything caught up, finalizing everything that went into the end of the year, making some proposals to give to the mayor for some of y'all's sessions, like the software we talked about, and some of those things. And so basically what you see up there was a total of what took place throughout the year. We ended up with 52 cars, trailers, or boats that were either removed from town streets or maybe come into compliance, whether it was tagged or parked off the street or parked inside garages. We hung 159 door tags for various reasons, trash, leaves, other types of notices. We did 54 business inspections were completed, 75 rental inspections. That didn't count any re-inspections, that was just 75 houses. 27 zoning permits that we take care of, basic ones like fences and decks that don't need to go to Mr. Alton. We sent out 127 letters for compliance. That number does not count second or third letters that were sent out or certified mail that was sent out. And then there were 14 abatements that were performed on properties that just didn't comply to the letters or anything else.
Can you define the range of that? Like when you say abate, anything?
It could have been a house that had trash out in the front that wasn't picked up, and then we call the contractor we use and they come and clean the trash up, or there was a couple of houses that were abandoned that had to have windows boarded up and property maintained. Of those 14 abatements, there was 2 or 3 of them that were done continually, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a piece.
So that's the multiple.
That's the number of
14
homes.
separate. Oh, it was 14 homes.
14
okay.
homes.
Separate.
Some of them were multiple times. There was one on First Street that was done 6 or 7 or 8 times. And I think the mayor knows now, the one on First Street had garnered up a pretty big bill, but we did $5,000, but the property hadn't been purchased, and the bank that purchased it has paid off all its bills.
Goldman Sachs is bundling the mortgage securities.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs bought approximately 300 houses in Broward County in the last 8 years.
How many in North Beach, do you know?
No, I know they bought the one on First Street.
Goldman Sachs case?
They certainly do. One of their securities companies that handles their real estate paid the bill off.
Are you aware, Rick, you know, I happened to see it reclining, it's been just sitting out in front of someone's house for weeks now with, you know, on 7th Street.
That's the one that here.
But it's been out there for, I mean,
It was
yeah, a
moved and
couple-
then put back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was moved and then put back up.
yeah, when is fall?
18.
Yeah, it's just, that's an issue when people put it out basically a month before and have furniture, you know.
We had a
Sitting out on
problem with the
those
last
fronts.
one, there was some that were missed, and so, but we got most of it straightened out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
I mean, it's just.
I would say we'll pick it up tomorrow, I don't want them to do the havoc, but not that, they're supposed to go out there before,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we'll pick it up because it's nice, so it's not, it's not a problem, but,
And, you know, it's right,
at least I'm gonna do it because it's just easy.
I don't want to, you know, call anybody out, but it's right next to the beautiful new restaurant that will be opening on 7th Street, and love the recliner, it just, you know, yeah, it's a waiting area, exactly, it's overflow.
Anybody have any questions of Rick?
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, Dawn? Good evening.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
For the month of December, created advertisements due to my Culver College and Ladies Monday. Prepare for and attend the night of the town event and the holiday parade. We decorated Santa's tent this year, I don't know if you noticed, but we are doing with that. I was there to photograph each event. The New Year's Eve party on the pier, I promoted that mostly on Facebook. It was very well attended. We shopped and prepared the table decorations and decorated. I designed and printed all the entry tickets and attended meetings to make that event happen. Hologram Fun, which acquired all the sponsors and made out the sponsor logos for the back of the t-shirt. Kept track of the plunger registrations and prepared personalized certificates for each plunger. Created and printed signage for the day of the event to help direct people to go because there's tons of people there who need to be directed. Created the 2017 event sponsor banner that's hung at the boardwalk, and your sponsor, you get the name on the logo and on the back of the shirt. And the banner's hung for the entire year as a special event sponsor. Was also there and photographed that event. Continue work on website redesign and kind of work on removing old information and things like that. Research some other municipal websites to get ideas on functionality and searches and things like that. Do you have that?
Yes.
I have it's just a picture, it's not a clickable link or anything of like, the new homepage.
Okay.
We're still working with the company. I have a conference call with them next Tuesday to go over links and pages and things like that. So, for the home screen there where you see the sign that says Welcome to North Beach, that is a rotator. I think there's like 5 or 6 things there where you can place a photo and then a short description, and then you can click on that and it can take you to more information. On our site now, we have the rotator that won't take you anywhere. It's just a picture. So that's for events or current information. We can rotate that out as much as we need to. To the right of that, a quick links for agendas and minutes, online payments, forms and documents, subscribe to the e-news, meeting videos, and a way to contact us. When you go down towards the bottom, I'm having a hard time reading that left little tab there, but one of them is news. The first one is news. On our current website, on the left-hand side, there's the news around town, which are the email blasts that go out that you subscribe for. That's where those will be placed there under the news. And the other tab is current projects, things like updates on projects, maybe our streetscape project or the berm, or any ongoing project that we need to update the public on will go in there, and that will change periodically. On the right-hand side, it's the calendar.
The most recent date, like say today, would be up there for the town council meeting. And then the next couple days, I think there's 5 entries there, but then you can click on all upcoming meetings and it takes you to a full calendar. The tabs at the top, government, residents, beach and boardwalk, events, and visitors. We'll have a tab for visitors, and actually we'll have a wedding address. So that's the start of the homepage. After next week, I should have some information. Let's see. Anyway, the arts and entertainment meeting that was held here in December, I gathered information, so it was in creative maps and stuff to help run for that. And then the other routine tasks with website, Facebook, things like that. For the month of December, our total hits on the website were 66,340 for an average of 2,140 per day. After visiting the homepage, the top 3 pages visited were the town calendar, the 2016 special events list, and the Collier Fund Unit. The top 3 downloads were the feasibility study for the Performing Arts Center, the online brochure, and the CPAC final report. For Facebook, our likes increased by 30 for December, with a total at the end of December of 7,927.
What are you doing the rest of the time?
Yeah, running list.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Council have any questions?
I'm just curious, I know you've done a lot of marketing related to the weddings. Do we have an update? I'm curious if we're getting bookings. I mean, people plan their weddings so far in advance. Are we getting any for this coming summer?
Stacy's meeting with people, she does that part of it.
Okay.
They contact her for the information, she meets with them and goes over the options and stuff, so she does everything.
Stacy, by the way, is Maryland Clerks Conference this week, somewhere in West Virginia. Yeah, in West Virginia. Was she installed at this meeting? She's the,
It's
she
at
is the president
the
elect.
June meeting, isn't it? It's at the June meeting.
Yeah, a 2-year term as the president of the Maryland Clerks Association. Okay, thank you. Our circuit rider, Veronica Owen, is not here. Council has her report. She's basically working with us, doing an excellent job, I might add, with the grant fundings from varying sources, and really keying in on our objective of acquiring a sustainable Maryland designation. Jane, when we get to the policy, I'm going to ask if you would, as our liaison to the environment, just tell us a little bit about why we're doing this and why it's necessary to get that designation. Okay, you have also Kelly's report. Kelly's doing an excellent job, but we're not going to ask her to give a report. So. Okay, it's time for public comment.
How you doing?
Good. Your name?
My name is Victor Velasco. I live at 9208 Chesapeake Avenue here in North Beach. I am here to discuss the task of the town board and residents parking problems that plague many of us. And let's give you a little history of my situation here in North Beach. I lived here in North Beach for several years. I live where I have directly experienced parking problems. I live 2 doors down from the West Lawn Inn restaurant, and now next door to the new West Lawn Inn Bed and Breakfast, which to my knowledge has 4 suites for guests to stay in. In front of the suites, up to the alleyway to 7th Street and Chesapeake Road, there are 2 private signs on the lawn of West Lawn Inn property stating West Lawn Inn parking only. Also on the corner of 7th Street and Chesapeake Avenue, there are 2 additional signs posted West Lawn Inn parking only. There's also a handicap sign painted on 7th Street in front of the restaurant. I have seen these posted signs being enforced by the restaurant manager by chasing someone off saying this is for the restaurant guests only. This was one of the town vendors being told to leave when the town used to have 7th Street blocked for Friday nights. On nights when the restaurant and town are busy, especially during the popular summer season, I have to come home to park where there are official town place resident parking only signs in front of my house, only to find no place to park due to the guests and customers visiting our local town. Some as overflow from West Lawn Inn, and others who are enjoying the wonderful beach and boardwalk. I am handicapped with a heart condition. I have spoken up before on the parking issues I've had. I sent an email to the mayor and did not receive a response. I did receive a response back. He stated, quote, "We as a town cannot do anything because it's on private property," in reference to the private parking signs for the West Lawn Inn. I have a very hard time believing this. How does the town have the ability to make someone clean up their backyards or paint their fences, which are on private property? Yet, they cannot tell a business to remove the parking sign that is not sanctioned by the town. I was not able to get this resolved at the time. I called the town's code enforcement officer around October 2016. I spoke with Rick Crump about the situation and asked specific questions. He stated he would call me back. I made several follow-up calls, leaving messages, and have yet to receive a response. I then contacted Mike Benton about the situation on November 17, 2016. I told him about Mr. Crump, and he has been trying to get this resolved for me. He advised I should be patient, and I have been, but the time has come to a close. I have a few suggestions which I would like to share with you now that will not only help myself and my neighbors who live here, but the town as well. I would like to propose the following: include in the budget a contracting parking enforcement in the town of North Beach, whether it is working with the county, police, or creating a parking patrol. The ticket funds received for violators would serve as an offset some of the costs of contracting someone to enforce parking. This allows these road signs put up by businesses and residences, and not by the town. They should be told told to take them down or impose a fine. Be as concerned about your citizens who live here as you do in growing businesses and tourism. I do support local businesses and tourism brought to this town, but there must be a balance, especially with new growth, which adds to the parking problems. Before I end, I have two questions to the town board. Was parking included in the design of the new West Lawn Inn Bed and Breakfast? And if not, where will these guests be officially parked? Also, due to my handicap, is there a way to add an official town erected handicap parking only sign in front of my residence? Thank you for your time and letting me speak. My last request is that this is to be submitted to the official town records. Thank you and for your consideration.
Thank you, Victor.
Have this good yourself.
Yeah. We'll be discussing parking later on in the meeting today. Any other public comment?
I
Yes.
want to say, the house on First Street, if this is the one that you all were talking about, 2 days we've had 2 people looking at that house, and I even went out and said it would be exciting to have nice people live in this house. So I just want to let you know that 2 sets of people, yesterday and today, have been looking at the house. So
I would get an owner in there that will take care of it.
yeah, I even went out and, tried to encourage them, so that's exciting.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, moving on to boards and commissions. We have first the appointment to the North Beach Board of Appeals, a vacancy created by John Flynn moving away from town, vacating that position. And I am recommending to the council tonight the appointment of Karen Ankenbrandt to fill that term, John Flynn. Is Karen here? Yeah, there she is. Yes. Do I have of course I need the council's concurrence with this. Do I have a motion to appoint Karen Ankenbrandt to fill the unexpired term of John Flynn on the Board of Appeals? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? I don't hear you opposed. You have friends, Karen. Karen, come on up, I need to swear you in, please. Well, it's the, it's the
Yeah, I was left, just curious.
yeah, come all the way up. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, stating your name, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland, and support the Constitution and laws thereof, and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment, diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the office of Board of Appeals member according to the Constitution and laws of this state. Congratulations. All right, we also need two very valuable members of the North Beach Planning Commission. Terms have expired. Both have expressed an interest and willingness to serve another term. That would be Michael Horton, who is currently the chair of the Planning Commission, and Pat Haddon, who is with us here today. Both of these individuals have gone way beyond their role as members of the Planning Commission and efforts, initiatives in the town of North Beach. Very fortunate, in my opinion, to have them willing to serve the town. So, can I have a motion? Let's take them one at a time to reappoint Pat Haddon to the North Beach Planning Commission. For a second? All in favor?
I'll say.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I do have a question, and it's not going to impact.
Okay, it passed, by the way.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Patty.
Are we getting out of cycle again with having two expire at the same time?
Stacy keeps track. She usually sends them to
Yeah, their terms actually expired a few months ago.
I think they're 5-year terms. I think it's the new act, one that expires each year.
Right, we try to stagger.
It'll run 5 years from her, from her expiration. Okay. All right, do I have a motion to reappoint Michael Hartman?
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Michael's not here, but he's reappointed. Okay, business items. The town of North Beach, council has a copy of a procurement policy. It's called a sustainable procurement policy. It's not a specific policy, but it lays out some general guidelines to the town in terms of their procurement activities, to recognize our response. Let me just read the purpose of it to you so that you'll understand the nature of it. The town of North Beach recognizes its responsibility to minimize negative impacts on human health and the environment while supporting a diverse, equitable, and vibrant community and economy. The town recognizes that the types of products and services the town buys have inherent social, human health, environmental, and economic impacts, and that the town should make procurement decisions that embody the town's commitment to sustainability. This procurement policy is intended to identify those sustainability factors that shall be incorporated into procurement decisions, shall provide implementation guidance, will empower employees to be innovative and demonstrate leadership by incorporating sustainability factors into procurement decisions, and finally to communicate the town's commitment to sustainable procurement. Jane, you want to just tell us a bit why this is important in our quest to get that, earn that designation?
Yes, it's important for us to have this designation so we can be out there and with the green in all items that we would like to continue with. Right now, we do recycling, which is a big thing that we've done. We've moved from every other week to weekly. We also get credit because even though we don't have children that go to school in our town, we have children that go to school in other town, in Windy Hill. So we get a percentage credit for that. And Windy Hill and both middle and elementary school are termed what they call green schools. So they try to do everything green there. Our procurement is to use recycled goods as much as we can, as long as they are up to our standards. And so we're looking at also the community garden that Veronica at Chesapeake County is working on. We will get credits for people who use the gym at the senior center. And we also have people who like the Sunrise Garden. We get credit for anything day-wise and anything that is sustainable.
Okay, thank you, Jane. I am going to ask for a motion for the town to adopt this procurement policy as it is a requirement in our designation to become a sustainable marijuana community. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Jane, you'll make sure that that's... Okay. Discussion on parking. I've asked Mike Benton if he would lead the discussion here. We'll take up Victor's concerns and others.
Absolutely. I'd just like to start out by the situation we're talking about. Obviously, I've had many conversations with Victor, and I'm glad you're here because I know you've been fighting a lot of health battles, so I'm glad to see you here. You know, it's something that we can handle, we can take care of if we just take care of it. We have things in place, but there's still confusion, and that's what I'd like to get cleared up tonight. I have questions, you know, that we can address, get through this pretty quickly. Really what we're talking about is Chesapeake towards the bay. That's the main areas. And a lot has to do with, you know, our town's growing, and one of the things we're attracting are B&Bs. We have some new businesses coming to town. We're attracting businesses. We've made some changes 5 years ago to the parking regulations for businesses to come here. We removed them. So you can just open up. Because we all also understand that as a beach community, parking is parking, and will be tough because unless we can pave the bay, we're going to have some issues. There are some ideas down the road what's going to happen, but right now we're not there yet about how to handle everything. And I think we have items in place that can resolve a lot of this. We have signs up that says residence parking, resident parking. We have stickers for residents. I would hate to ask how many people in here have a sticker. The number's probably pretty low. Well, right. Right, but the problem is it's not being enforced anyway, so it really doesn't matter if it's stick or not. Really what I would like to talk about tonight and really just see what we can do to address, Victor's concerns is just not his. There's other members of the community that have the same issues. And with us going to keep popping up these B&Bs where maybe they can sleep 8 people, not all of us have the luxury of having off-street parking. A lot of people don't.
Well, even having off-street parking doesn't guarantee you can have access to it.
Absolutely. And there's issues with that down there. It's happened last year near Councilman Homel's house where some driveways were parked.
And I remember I was harassed by you guys 3-4 years ago. I started bringing up the parking for B&Bs.
So,
Overwrought and hysterical, I think were the words used.
well, here's what I'd like to address tonight. What I'd like to address is that we're not gonna push it down the road anymore. We're gonna address this, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna find out that we really don't have major issues in North Beach. We have small ones that are festering up, and we just need to take care of it. We need to figure out how we're going to enforce the laws that we have in place. What laws do we have in place is what we need to promote. Mr. Velasco mentioned hiring somebody and so forth. Since day one, since I've been in office, it's been a conversation. Who enforces it? Do the police department? Does town? What does the contract with the police officer say? Do we do it? Do we hire somebody? Does code enforcement? What we need to find out is who's going to enforce it. And just do it. And it's over. This conversation's done.
What about road signs?
Yeah, well, we've had that issue with the West Lawn with private signs, if you remember going back.
Why is it such an issue, though? It needs to be resolved.
Oh, I don't disagree with you at all, and I wanted to have them pulled several years ago. when they first came up.
I think we concluded at one time that those private signs don't rise to the level that we having any legal enforcement.
Yeah,
Anybody at all can park in this station and they're not subject.
The problem though, sir, is that the owner of that facility, he goes out and chases people away. So now what do you do? And these people are here to go to other businesses other than his. So how do you enforce that? You can't just take a blind eye, put blind eye and do anything.
There's a long history on West Lawn Inn about how he grew up without any off-street parking and has always depended upon on-street parking to support the activities to go there.
I am going to ask Pat a question though. When the bed and breakfast in West Lawn was approved, there was off-street parking included in that, correct?
Yes.
There was up behind the house.
Yeah.
That was.
He's got off-street
He had
parking
off-street
to
parking
that.
there.
How many
And
spots?
a lot across the street is also off-street parking.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he had adequate off-street.
There's not much room back there, I can tell you that.
I know.
Enough for each room.
But
Not only that, you've got 20 patients deliveries for the restaurant too.
I know. I can't debate that to you on their plans, but.
Well, I'd like to throw out here to submit that the signs aren't going to make any difference. If you take this, the purpose of putting the sign there is to direct his customers to park in front of his restaurant instead of in front of people's homes up and down 7 or Chesapeake. Yes. And if you take the signs away, they're just going to park down the street. It's not going to make any difference.
What's the purpose of having that nice little parking lot you have across from that place that has the dentist office in it? That area there for parking?
It's public parking. Yeah, it's public parking.
That's so, why do they need to have signs there then?
Here's what I'd like to add with this. From the West Lawn, it depends on what direction you go, there's a sign that says resident parking. So if we follow through to enforce what we're talking about, those people that park there will be ticketed. Right?
Yeah, that's what the enforcement is.
Right? I mean,
In front of the West Lawn?
no, where it says resident parking.
So for resident parking pass?
Yes, if they don't have a sticker on their car, if we can figure out how to enforce this, then they should get a ticket. Real quick too, so it doesn't go out in the world that I want to ticket people and all that crap. It's not that. What I want to do though, is that make sure that as we grow as a town, that our residents are not have to walk a mile to get to their house when we didn't think it through. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I have to, well, I was thinking of an idea. I just recently moved to a house, and I was living in apartments over at Burn Oaks. And when I was moving, I found that people were parking right directly into the house. And it was a lot easier to park right in front of the house, even though I had drive-up parking and off-street parking to unload. And when I asked them to just move the car, because I was moving, I got, they got nasty and, stuff. So I was like, gee, thanks, nice and welcome to the neighborhood.
They blocked your driveway?
Oh, they blocked, no, they didn't block, well, one time they did, because they had two cars right in front of the house. I had to park further down the street to, load things into the house.
Right.
And, it wasn't, and then there's been times that, people have parked in front of the house, and, I remember coming, back from, it was a Friday night during the summer, and there's somebody had, parked in front of the house, and, where they were about to, but I honked them to say, like, hey, wait a minute, that's my, that's where I live, so, but they drove on, but I was
there is
thinking
no
that-
reserved parking on the street.
Right.
Well,
right.
that's
They
what
don't
I'm
want to
thinking,
do
that there
that.
should be.
They
There should be for all residents at least one spot in front of their house so they can get here. You never know, I could have sprained my ankle tomorrow and it'll be hard for me to get into the house.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well, what I'm
that's
gonna,
the
right, well, here's what we need to address tonight, because we're not gonna keep
Yeah.
this going all night.
Yeah.
Is that we need to address the enforcement part of it. Well, I'm not letting you know, what we're trying to let you know is that we're not pushing this down the road. We're gonna come up with a solution. But just remember, anything we do will have a consequence on the other side that we need to be prepared for. Everything has a consequence. Just if we hire somebody to enforce it, that's a cost, taxpayers' dollars.
And
Did Rick, yeah, Rick, did you
earlier
have
in the
some ideas?
summer,
I'd love to hear.
like probably March or April of 2016, I brought up and mentioned, and we started looking at the paid parking, and everybody had, a heart attack over it, and I stated then that the reason we were looking at some of those other options was because there are parking issues, and enforcement is the only issue. The only issue with parking is enforcement. How do we do it, how do we pay for it, and how much of it do we want to do? And so that's why the parking was brought up when we did all the, the looking into and how much it's going to cost and how it would be viable, what kind of monetary value it would be to the town to be able to pay for some of these other things. And then we decided to table it because everybody who showed up at the meeting said, no, we don't want anything to do with that. We don't want any paid parking anywhere in the town. And
Can I ask
so,
you a question? The lot, the main lot where people park, Bezos lot, during the summer, what have you, we never charge for that, correct? I mean, sometimes we have people there, we don't charge for that ever. I mean, I'm wondering, we have to do the analysis, but if we charged for people to park there, and I know we discussed that some, didn't want to, we want people to come, but would we generate enough money from that, if we did charge, even not a huge amount, to cover enforcement? You know what I mean? If people could park there and it was $5 versus parking on the street and risk getting a ticket, I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, in every other town.
Those parking fees are incorporated into our beach fees. And the reason we don't break them out is because people will see, oh, it cost me $5 to park in that lot. Well, I'm going to find a place on the street up here and park in front of someone's house.
But I wonder, Mark, if that's the best thing that we should be doing, because then people park somewhere closer on the street, yes, they're paying it at the beach, but if we did break it out and encourage them to park in the lot and pay,
I'm not opposed to
versus
that.
getting a ticket, you know what I mean? It's just something to consider, is would it be smarter to break it out if we had the enforcement and encourage
I
them to
mean,
park in
that
the
was part
lot?
of the discussion before. You would have to have the enforcement in place to begin with before you ever instituted the paid parking. Because what's going to happen is people are going to avoid the paid parking at all costs to start with. And so we only have a problem now from, say, Dayton to the water. If you put paid parking in, then you're going to push it back another 2 blocks. Because people will walk 4 blocks as opposed to paying $5.
If people pay $5 and it
Real
depends.
quick, give me your bond.
I don't know.
Reasonable. Go ahead.
I think that I have off-street parking, because I have what we call nuisance waiver on the check. I have not been able to have anyone in front of my house for 8 months. A broken down car has been there, parked in front of me, parked the wrong way. At first, I got upset and told her, can you please move this car at least out of the roadway, because it's very rude to me, because I am severely hearing impaired. I have less than 20% hearing.
it was scary backing out the way this car was, just facing the rollway of the traffic. And then shortly before that, there was another car in front of my house, broken down, that was up on hijack for a little while. And Mike and Ricky got that taken care of for me. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Now I'm dealing with the drugs and everything else, and I'm scared, because I'm by myself. These people need to get out of here.
Right. Here's what I want to do, because we'll be here all night with this. We're addressing this, so just so you know, we are addressing this. There is no perfect answer, no perfect solution. Enforcement has to be a part of it, and then we need to narrow down how we're going to do it. But it's not going to be settled tonight. That's not going to happen. We have too much other stuff to do. We just want you to know that we're working on it. It's not be kicked down the road. Yes, John?
Suggestion, I think you should put it on a work session agenda. In advance of the work session agenda meeting, identify what the problems are and put that out beforehand. And then I'll do an analysis of what laws we have on the books and what the enforcement could be, and maybe come up with some ideas, because we have laws on the books to enforce all of these parking laws. Right? And it is a matter of enforcement, and it is a matter of who's going to do it and how we're going to pay for it. And
It's a budget.
it's a budget consideration, because there are fines on the books for parking in a resident-only parking place without the stick.
Well, how much would the enforcement cost? I mean,
Yeah, so can we do it in-house with the forces we have? Do we need to hire somebody?
Exactly.
Those are the things. So I suggest we put it on you might want to put it on March and have it almost be the only thing.
One last thing.
One more
Go ahead, so we can end
thing.
this.
Can I get before next couple of days, can I get a straight answer from the town as to how many parking spots were made available for that new facility next to my house?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, a straight answer.
That's easy.
And what John was saying too, because I think major parking problems, and residents can tell me if I'm wrong, is probably on Friday, Saturday nights, talking about enforcement. The council maybe think in mind, we don't have to have enforcement Monday through Thursday. Maybe we need, once the word gets out, you guys are enforcing.
It could be a weekend.
Because that's the main problem I see, because, both those can work down, whatever, it's Friday, Thursday through, Sunday.
You may be able to find money in the budget.
So you don't have to,
And
you
with
don't have to
that,
start
and
off
just-
on hold,
So for that meeting, I mean, it would be really helpful to have some budget estimates, and how much would it cost to have enforcement? For like Thursday to Sunday, yeah, I think maybe get some numbers.
And you are going to get some reimbursement from the tickets themselves.
Or at least make a phone call to the enforcement officer during those other times too. Because I live right next to a four-bedroom suite.
It would be the one to maybe note the budget amount together for enforcement. Would that be you, Rick? Is
I can do that.
Okay, so you could have that for the meeting.
So my recommendation would be not to have a specific time frame, because then
Just certain amount of hours.
it would just, it doesn't need to be random,
Right.
otherwise people are gonna know, okay, Monday and Tuesday, I can just park in front of different house.
Give a dollar amount and a clause.
If you don't know that, just take
And for the most part, the resident-only signage is really just for Chesapeake East. On Second, Third, there's a super special one on Seventh. to the
His
board
problem,
off,
his problem goes away when you start writing fees.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
All right.
Okay, thank you all. Thanks for your input, Victor. Okay, going to the ordinances, Joanne, we have a budget adjustment requested from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office.
Yes. We have one item requested from the sheriff's office for a sergeant's position for, it's now Sergeant Phelps, correct? For FY17, the town pays 35% of the contract. So for the remainder of the year, it would be a $1,417 increase. But next year, it would be $4,048 for the full year. That's 35% of his increase. And that does not include any other deputy sheriff costs.
Brian, you consider Sergeant Phelps a valuable member of the beach contingent?
Absolutely, I do, and that's why I asked you that. clarify for the council, he has been promoted to the rank of sergeant, and he will be leaving the beach. The position is not approved, and we'll get a new corporal in, and one can go on as usual. But I think he's a valuable asset to the community. I think most of the citizens here know him. He participates with everything in the community. He's a good community police officer. He's well known here, and I think he's well appreciated by the citizens, so it's well drafted and see if we got to keep it going.
And he personally does want the staff.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, we have the crew that's together right now since I've been here in only 15 days. We've lost one officer, and I think it shows in sort of working. I think the citizens of the town, especially too.
Okay, Joe. Thank you, Ron. Someone care to introduce that ordinance?
I'll introduce ordinance 17-01.
Okay, thank you. We'll vote on it next month, but let's, thank you. Ordinance 17-02. Joe, you want to amend the rental license?
Rental code,
Yes.
the rental code, there was just a typo in the last ordinance that was adopted. It should state a 3-year renewal, as we have done in the last, it was 3 years ago. We did that ordinance. So it's just a maintenance issue that needs to be done, not changing any formats or anything. It's just making it from where it now says 1 year by accident, it should now say 3 year as you propose.
Okay, someone care to introduce that one?
I'll introduce ordinance 17-02.
Okay, thank you. Make sure they're on the agenda to vote next month. Okay, item C, we have moved to the work session. Then the council reports, Mickey, let's start with you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, especially the scout in the back. I'm sure that's for a merit badge.
Welcome.
Because I remember doing that. And I remember my dad being the one to come to meetings and speak.
Were you an English Scout?
I got too old. Because
Oh, you ran out of
I
time.
was in camping, and hanging out with my friend, your rank was just a happy little nuance. The Boulder swim was a great way to start the year, especially after enjoying the party the night before. The party, we had 230 some people there. It sold out. I was down at the end of the pier and everybody was leaving. Nothing but good compliments. Everybody had a fun time. A lot of people were asking me if I was doing it for the year and looking forward to it. A couple of people were saying little things for improvement, so I can look back to the event committee. Over there swimming, we had about 316-ish people, Bridgewalk, that jumped in, and it was warmer again this year in the water.